The inside scoop on the upcoming season offensive line. Nobody has a lot of starters back. And the other thing, we don't have as many stars in the backfield positions this year, so we don't know where the stars are going to come from.
Should be a great season. Let's get started right away, going to the East Penn Conference and take a look first at what happened last year.
Well, Central Catholic won its third straight East Penn Conference title. They're going for number 4. This year, the battle should come down to the Trojans of Parkland and the Vikings. Mark it down on the calendar, October 18th at Parkland. That's when those two will meet. But I still say that the Vikings are the class of this league. With junior quarterback Matt Seneca directing the attack, this should be a high-octane Central Catholic offense. The Vikings have definitely reached the reload instead of rebuild stage, but Jim Morgans won't let this team rest on its laurels.
I think, we're going to be in a hunt. Our kids did what we asked them to do in the off-season. They were in the weight room, all of our kids, and we're blessed with some skilled kids. We've got some youth, and, we'll see how quickly they mature.
Safety wide receiver Clint Dotson leads the list of skilled players at Parkland as the Trojans go after their first ever EPC title.
I'd have to agree Central's still the champion until somebody beats them, and they got their program rolling, and we hopefully can get ours to that level at some point. We feel real good about the kids that we have back that will be able to compete in the East Penn League. Parkland's never won an East Penn League conference title, and we're hoping that this could be the year we break down the door.
Deerup is picked as a sleeper mainly because of multi-talented quarterback Rocky Butler, who can run as well as throw the football.
Rocky is without a doubt the spark plug of this team. I mean, we have a great tailback with Tosh Riddick, a wide receiver with Daquan Birch, and my son Matt Marks out there. But Rocky, he can do it all.
And Freedom is also getting some fingers pointed at them for the sleeper role.
Strength is our skill positions with Matt Cassand as a wide receiver and Mike Osley as a tailback and Jeff Habrel coming off a real nice season last year. The areas that we really got to concentrate on are the up front areas.
Just a few miles away, Becca High's Bob Stem is again having to replace an all-league quarterback. Last year it was Dan Kendra. This year it's Mike Palos.
Dave Mulchaney. Dave's a good kid. He's been in the wings waiting. He's been working hard. He'll be a senior. He's, he's worked very, very hard, and he's come a long way.
Former Becca High assistant Rich Heffernan has now moved to the top slot at Liberty.
If I had to pick an area that we're probably going to be strong at, I would say it would be in the tailback area, since Nick Capshouse is a returning starter, all-league potential type of player.
Easton is very young and very inexperienced, but it's got that Rover tradition at tailback, or does it?
Oddly enough, we really don't have any experience at running back. Our running backs we've used for 2 years, and they've graduated. We got a group of young guys, Jimmy Saylor in 10th grade, Ben Ray in 12th, Phil Walker in 12th, and maybe even Toy Berry at running back.
At Whitehall, Tony Coca has to also replace some talent in the backfield in quarterback Matt Schultz and running back Javon Tatum.
This team is like I guess the whole thing is they say the team, there's no I. They're working together, everyone picking up each other and doing the things that we have to do to be a better football team.
And now here are some players you should keep your eyes on this year, starting off with Matt Seneca, the Viking quarterback.
Only a junior, and I look for a big year out of Matt Seneca to Tony Stewart, the 6'6" basketball player. I have a feeling these two guys are going to hook up on some incredible plays. You look down the list there. Jeff Habrel, the quarterback at Freedom, you heard Bill Ryder talk about him. He should have a big year with Matt Cassandra. There are a lot of good guys on that list, and there's a lot of guys that are going to come up and create a list of their own later on in the season.
All right, let's move on to the Mountain Valley Conference now, see what happened there last year. East Stroudsburg and Stroudsburg pretty much ruled the league. James Mungro, a guy we'll hear from this year, too.
Yeah, we heard from him last year. We're going to hear from him again this year. And, of course, the big question this year is the Mountain Valley Conference for real. Last year, we had 2 teams in the district final from this conference. Everybody's saying the MVC is flexing its muscles and maybe stronger than the EPC. We'll have to see.
It hasn't been around for long, but the Mountain Valley Conference has certainly made an impact in our area. As the Mountain Valley Conference approaches its 3rd year, it's a league on the rise. Last year, 2 of its members, East Stroudsburg and Stroudsburg, met for the District 11 Class 4A championship. The MVC also boasted the Pennsylvania Large School Player of the Year, James Mungro. The Cavaliers and Mungro are back to defend their title in '96. The key to this season will be the young players.
Last year has to, on one hand, has to benefit the kids, and everybody was excited about the season starting and ready to go, and we want to continue from where we left off. And on the other hand, the kids have to realize that they can't depend on last year's statistics and what happened last year. They're going to have to go out and make their own situation.
Crosstown rivals Stroudsburg will have something to say about the Cavaliers repeating. The Mounties won the first MVC title in '94, and like many schools in our area, they'll need some help up front to take another title.
We're not going to replace the kind of people that we lost there, because we had a great group of kids who had played for a couple of years, and we have some hard-working combination senior-junior line right now that I think has done a real nice job, but they need to play.
There are 2 new coaches in the MVC. At Nazareth, Chris Gerhard replaces Joe Bernard. The Blue Eagles will try to get back to their winning tradition after the first winless season in school history. There's new optimism in Nazareth, thanks in part to a talented sophomore quarterback named Ryan Fry.
He's only a sophomore, but he's really developed into a leader, even though, he's a young kid. The other kid that you got to watch for will be our tailback, Frank Starner.
At Northampton, John Bendekovitz takes over for John Davis, who resigned after last season. The K-Kids had an up-and-down campaign, highlighted by an upset win over District 11 Class 3A champ North Schuylkill, but Northampton finished in 3rd place overall. The K-Kids lost a lot of skilled people from last year's team, roles Bendekovitz hopes to fill with younger, less experienced talent.
We have basically a junior group. We only have 3 offensive players back from last year and 4 defensive players, so we're very young.
The Indians of Lehigh finished over 500 at 6-5 last year, splitting their last 2 games, including a relatively narrow loss to state-powered Berwick, which was ranked #1 nationally at the time. Dave Parsons' Indians are always tough, though. Last year, he scrapped his wishbone attack for a more multiple offense. We'll see what he has in store for '96. In Swiftwater, the Pocono Mountain Cardinals started off well in '95, but slumped after that, winning just 2 of their last 6. This year, the Cards hope to stay consistent. And at Pleasant Valley, the Bears graduated offensive tackle John Blick, who went on to Penn State. So there's a pretty big hole to fill. A young Bear team finished with just 2 wins last year in 10 tries, but both wins came against winless teams. Coach Tony Carraccio hopes to turn things around in Broadheadsville this year. And now here are some players to watch in the MVC. James Mungro, he's a given, but what about some of these other guys, Jeff?
Well, I'll tell you what, I expect big things out of Nazareth this year. Didn't win a game last year, but they've got some great, skilled kids back. Ryan Fry, only a sophomore, threw for over 1,000 yards. Look for big things out of him. Mike Patrick from East Stroudsburg, look for big things out of him because they're going to key on Mungro, and they're going to be able to throw the ball to Mike Patrick, and this kid has some speed. But as you mentioned, Mungro is the man, and earlier this week I had a chance to talk to him about the upcoming season. Last year, James Mungro ran around, through, and over defenses to set a state single-season rushing record. Mungro ran for over 3,000 yards and led the Cavs into the 4A state semifinals. This year, Mungro is looking for another district championship and to stay healthy. In the spring, the senior tailback had his shoulder operated on, but he says right now everything is fine.
Yeah, it was popping out for the most part. I got reconstructive surgery to it, and now the doctor did a great job on it, and I'm back to normal.
Tell me a little bit about taking a hit. Have you taken any hits yet, or have you stayed away from the contact?
I haven't made no scrimmages yet, and I'll be in the first game, but I got a couple hits already. I fell on a couple times. If I get hurt, I get hurt. I mean, I'm out to play football.
In addition to another district title, the 4-year starter wants to become the state's all-time leading rusher. He needs 1,840 yards in order to achieve that goal.
It's very important to me, but more important is a championship. I'd rather have, a whole team with me than just me as an individual to win a state, I can't wait to reach that point, but a championship would be more better than a, state rushing record.
The key to getting the record, the Cavs must successfully rebuild the offensive line.
The problem that we have is that we lost a lot of people on the line, offensively and defensively on both sides of the ball. So that's our problem, and that's what we have to end up teaching.
Aside from avoiding defenders, Mungro must also dodge the college recruiters. He says right now he's listening to every Division I school like Penn State, Michigan, and USC, and will take his time in deciding where he will play his college ball.
All right, Jeff, now let's take a look at the Colonial League from last year. Northwestern, what a surprising year the Tigers had, but a lot of those big guns are gone.
Brett Snyder is gone. He's on his way to Lehigh, but the teams you see at the top there, they're still going to be there this year. It should be an interesting season, though, in this league.
New with us this year, Chuck Licata. He'll be with us all season long on the Big Ticket, and he breaks down the '96 season in the Colonial League.
Control your legs. Bangor Slaters carry the burden as preseason favorites in the Colonial League, as voted on by the league's coaches.
And we're going to put the monkey on our back, right? Hey, look, if we earned that respect, that's good. We like that. We just got to back it up.
Atasakawa's senior class is determined to turn last year's second-place finish into a title-winning farewell tour After all, Caddy is full of high enthusiasm and high expectations.
Fathers, uncles, brothers, they talk about what they did when they played football, and they hear it at the dinner table, and that keeps it going.
All right, let's see here. Class of 79, class of 79. Ooh, nice graduation picture. You know, if Notre Dame lacks one thing going into the season, it may be having a long winning tradition. Notre Dame won its first ever league championship the season after I graduated in 1979. Last year's 8 wins were the most by a Crusaders team since, you guessed it, 1979. But it looks like Coach Jeff Narr, who expects to win 8 games again this season, at least has his program headed in the right direction.
This year, I think we can be, competitive in our league again with the right breaks. Me, be there at the end, and also we want to make districts. That's the goal. We want to build on last year's 8-3 record.
The Crusaders will hope that a strong running game, improved team chemistry, and solid line play will get them through.
Welcome back to the Big Ticket. I'm Doug. He's Jeff. And as we resume our high school football coverage for tonight, we focus in on the Colonial League, which jumps right into the league schedule on opening night. A game between 2 teams ranked in our top 20 also.
Yeah, I'm still not convinced that playing just league opponents is good. I like to see those independent matches, but hey, that's the life. I'm an ex-Warrior, and I just want to see us play some other teams. But anyway, I think that Northern Lehigh has been down so long that they had to start learning how to win, and they did that last year. I look for big things from this team, and they've got a great running back by the name of Mike Lilly.
They took on a Notre Dame team, which is usually strong, rich tradition there in Green Pond, and they figured to put up a tough battle.
Well, they're ranked number 5 in single A in the state poll, so that's a lot to live up to. They did a great job last year. They were 8-3 under Jeff Narr in his first season, and now they've got to take that next step. They just missed the playoffs last year, and Jeff Narr is expecting big things out of this team.
Dave Lesko back for his 3rd consecutive season on the Big Ticket. He has the game wrap-up from Notre Dame High School.
Notre Dame was looking to put a muzzle on the Bulldogs tonight at Crusader Field. Early on, though, the ball was bouncing Northern Lehigh's way. Driving in the first, Northern Lehigh's Jeff Rink fumbles the ball in the pack. Teammate Sam Frame picks it up and rambles in from 34 yards out for the score. With 9:42 left, the Bulldogs were up 7-0. It wouldn't take long, though, for Notre Dame to come back. About 3 minutes later, the Dogs' Pete Snyder would fumble the ball. Notre Dame's Tony Sandrini recovers and scampers 18 yards to tie it up at 7 apiece. The Dogs' number 33, Mike Lilly, had a big night on the ground, carrying almost 100 yards in the first half. That 9-yard pickup would help set up this 4-yard burst into the end zone by Sam Frame. That would make the score 14-7 Northern Lehigh. Notre Dame would tack on a field goal early in the second to close the gap 14-10. Northern Lehigh, though, would come back. Sam Frame, with his 46-yard run, his 3rd touchdown of the night, would put the Bulldogs up 21-10. Jeff Rink would go in late in the second quarter to give Northern Lehigh an 18-point cushion. Both teams running the ball effectively in the first half, but Notre Dame would have to find some way to contain the 1-2 punch of Mike Lilly and Sam Frame in the second half for the Crusaders to have any chance of an opening week W. More Northern Lehigh in the second half, though. Frame from a couple out gets his 4th TD of the game. They miss the 2-point conversion, but take a commanding 34-10 lead. The Crusaders would come back, though. Billy Fretz from 5 yards out gets the score. Then quarterback Ian Burley would find Mike Tusquets for the conversion, but that would be it for the night.
Yeah, we didn't quit. I mean, we're a young team. This is one of the best teams in the league. They have one of the best lines, and tonight their line was better than our line. And our defense is very young and inexperienced, aggressive. And we knew we were going to be in for a battle. And we're a young defensive team that we got to grow, but we didn't quit. And so that's what we're going to build on there. We didn't quit. It's one of the better teams in the league. We got 9 games left, and we're a good football team, and we're going to get better.
At Crusader Field, I'm Dave Lesko for the Big Ticket.
All right, thank you, Dave. The number 5 team in Class A in the state goes down hard. The Bulldogs show their teeth, 38-16.
Of course, the Crusaders stepping up a class. Northern Lehigh, AA. Mike Lilly, some nice schools looking at this kid. Kansas, Maryland, and Rutgers, and they've got a tackle, all-league tackle, Marty Wenzel, Nebraska and Michigan, giving him a look. So that's a decent team. That could be the Northwestern of last year, this year, if you get what I'm saying. The Bulldogs could be that surprise team that's always at the bottom and climbs to the top. That's what I'm trying to say.
I get you, I think. No, I understand. Elsewhere in the Colonial League, we have